And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
Classic. Time.
What is going on, everybody? Alex back again. This time with a contest entry to a fairly new channel to me. I only found out about his channel through this contest, actually. What's your channel name? MM's Vinyl. Yeah, I've got the questions up here in front of me. I'm still trying out this angle, seeing how it looks. I quite like this angle because, you know, you got the sound system in the background and whatnot. So let me know how this angle looks compared to my older angle, but I'm digressing. This is a contest entry. MM's Vinyl 100 subscribers contest. Congratulations. I remember when I hit 100 subscribers. Still working my way up to the 2s. So with a bit of luck we get there soon. But let's get this out of the way. Question number 1. What's your favorite jazz or jazz fusion album and why? I was going to go with Bitches Brew by Miles Davis because that is probably my favorite jazz album at the moment. But I don't have a physical copy. God. So I went with my second favorite jazz album, and the album that actually turned me on to jazz music, Headhunters, Herbie Hancock. Might seem a bit cliche, I know, but this album did wonders for me in the music front, and I didn't have this album for the longest time, and I didn't pick it up until I was in Orlando. My buddy Tim over at DJ Heinen will vouch for that, because he knew I was looking for this, and I picked it up when I was out there. But again, I'm digressing. Headhunters, fantastic album from front to back. Perfect album for me is when you can listen to one from front to back. This is one of those very few examples, at least for me, when it comes to this kind of music. But Herbie Hancock is just incredible and I think deserves a mention for sure. This album, it changed the way I listened to music, basically, because before this, jazz music was a no-go area for me because I thought it would be very dull and very boring. But this album changed my complete opinion on that. And I checked it out just on a whim because DJ Jazzy Jeff had this on display in a video he did called Crate Diggers, and he had it on display, and that's what made me check this album out because I liked the cover, and I thought if it's good enough for Jazzy Jeff, why can't it be good enough for me? Checked it out, loved it, discovered it was jazz and classed as jazz, and fell in love ever since. So kinda couldn't turn away from jazz after this album, and yeah, just changed my whole perspective on the concept. Next question. What is your favorite blues or blues rock album and why? I actually have two for this, which is alright because Emma, you said you can accept more than one if we have one. So I'm going to answer with two because I couldn't decide between these two. The first one I'm going with is technically a compilation because this artist had no studio albums, but that's Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues. King of the Delta Blues Singers. Great guitarist. Obviously rumoured that he sold his soul to the devil in order for his talent. And I actually discovered him through an episode of Supernatural, my favourite show, because they touched on the topic of him selling his soul in an episode and used the whole Robert Johnson legends as a way to escalate what they were talking about in the episode. So I checked out his stuff, really enjoyed it. This is a compilation I picked up not too long ago, and this really, you know, just another great album I can listen to from front to back. And again, Robert Johnson's just one that I love and I can always be in a mood for. But then the other one I went with is Howlin' Wolf. this Howlin' Wolf album, it just clicks with me. Honestly, the cover, the whole Howlin' Wolf thing. Both of these, actually, as I said, I couldn't decide between the two, so I picked both. And I always flip back and forth as to which one's my favorite. This one had a bigger impact on me on the blues front. This one I like a bit more sonically and musically, and just the way it sounds, because obviously Robert Johnson, the recordings at the time were not very clear. So anything from 36, 37, when he was recording music, the recording equipment wasn't very clear at the time. This, of course, 20 years later, fantastic. Love them both for different reasons. Howlin' Wolf just because it's maybe the first blues album I ever heard properly that I was like, yeah, blues is something I want to get on a bit more. And Robert Johnson just because of a TV show. There you go. Question 3. One album in your collection that is underground or unknown. Let me know if you guys have heard of this one. It's a hip-hop album. It's Nemesis. Munchies for Your Bass. They had a song on here called Let's Have a Good Time, which uses a sample of a very popular Led Zeppelin song. There's a few of their songs on here that contain samples of some big rock songs. It's basically that classic 80s hip-hop sound, but it came out in 91. Basically, they more or less have the same sound as the Beastie Boys. And I don't know anybody else who really talks about this group. I don't know if anybody else knows about them. I really don't. But they are a great group, and I highly recommend checking them out, even if you just check out the song Let's Have a Good Time by them, just because of the Led Zeppelin sample on this album. But I think this is an album that deserves to be visited. If you are unfamiliar with this album and you're a hip-hop fan, definitely give this one a listen, because it's ace. And don't tell me that if you flip it over to the back of it and you look at this guy close up, that he does not look like Ice Cube. Tell me and convince me and tell me that I'm wrong, that this guy in the middle here does not look like Ice Cube. I'm sorry, but he does. Anyway, question 4. One album in your collection that always puts you in a good mood or makes you feel good. Now, obviously, I could have picked any album in my collection, but I went with quite literally a song, or an album that has a song called I Can Make You Feel Good. That is Shalimar's Friends album. Every time I put this on, I smile, because there is not only is there not a bad song on it, every song is upbeat, every song is just great. Every song can make you get up and dance and sing along if you know the words, and hands down Shalimar's best album and most solid album. And sorry about the voice crack, but one that definitely deserves to be listened to, and one that always makes me feel good, even when the song I Can Make You Feel Good comes on, and the song A Night to Remember comes on, as well as the song Friends, and There It Is, and I Don't Want to Be the Last to Know, and just a very, very good album. Question 5. What's your favorite thing about collecting records? It used to be my favorite thing. Was when the early days of my collecting records was it was my easiest way to discover new music. I bought a lot of things blindly and out on a whim. So a lot of my earlier collection and the way I am influenced now by the soul music and the funk, mainly just because of the covers, it still is my easiest way to discover new music. If something looks interesting to me, or people describe it to me in such a way that, oh, actually I might like that, I'll check it out, and that seems to be my easiest way to discover new music. So yeah, collecting records is just my easiest way to discover new music, and it always has been. So that is my favorite thing about collecting records. Honestly, nothing more so than that. I've always said it, and hopefully I can continue to. He's got a couple of bonus questions. These are optional, obviously, but I'm going to answer them anyway. First you don't get an extra entry, it's just for fun, innit? So might as well answer these bonus questions. What is your favourite band? Take a look behind me. I've got their poster up there from the tour, from their most recent tour last year that I was lucky enough to go and see, a stand front row for, and actually they brought out Miles Kane on the tour as well, on the show that I was there as well. It's a poster from their Birmingham gig, but I went to see them in London, and that's Arctic Monkeys, if you can't read that on there. But yeah, Arctic Monkeys are my favourite band. They have been for a while, and I don't think there's another band that really top them for me, to be honest, especially after the performance they gave. I wish I had the poster for their London show that I went to. The poster wasn't very good, but I do wish I had that one instead of the Birmingham gig, but that one's fine, because I do like the artwork on that, so I'll leave it at that. And the second bonus question, what is a genre that you are getting more and more into currently? And it goes back to your first question. Jazz. Jazz is a genre of music, even though Herbie Hancock I've known for a while, and albums like the obvious albums like John Coltrane's Giant Steps, My Favorite Things, Miles Davis, Dave Brubeck, you know, all the obvious ones. I've always, you know, once I got into jazz, I started listening to those. But jazz is always a genre of music I wish I could get more and more into, and it's one that I'm always discovering more artists and more band and more albums from. So it's one I'll always pick up when I discover something new. So yeah, that's my answer for that one, is jazz. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tried to cover as much ground as possible, trying to make this video as quick as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed MM's vinyl. Again, congratulations. I forgot your name, sorry, but congrats on hitting 100 subscribers. Hopefully, I think when I'm recording this, you're at like 136 or something like that. I don't remember. But let's hope you can get to 200, but let's hope you don't get to 200 before me. Kidding, obviously. We all wish we could get to 200, 300, 500 sometimes. I don't know, but congratulations again. And if you're a regular viewer here to the channel, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you've listened to any of these albums, particularly the Nemesis album. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.